folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Subatomic, an atom building game. This game supports 2 to 4 players, it's for ages 14 and up, and the average play time is between 40 and 60 minutes. This is primarily a deck building game, as the name implies. You'll be using various starter cards in your deck in order to acquire subatomic particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons. You're going to be using those subatomic particles to create elements, and those elements will score you victory points. And you'll be doing that a number of different ways: set collection, flat out victory points from the elements that you create, and so on. And the player with the most victory points at the end of the game will win. So without further ado, let's not be a moron and make some boron. Okay, so we've set up the game for 2 players. Idly is the purple player, and I am the orange player. So you've got a lot of different things going on here. Before we get into the components, let's just quickly look at the box insert so you can see what that looks like. These are all the different components that we didn't use. Extra scientists, extra starter cards, because there's only 2 of us. There's extra tokens and the like. So that's what that looks like. The game also comes with a educational booklet, which is separate. Yes, it does have part of the game in here on how it works, but then there's like the science behind it. So you can read up on photons, gamma rays, and electrons, atoms and elements, helium, lithium, beryllium, and boron, the 4 elements that are in this game, the different scientists and biographies on these different scientists, and so on. I absolutely love it when games do this. But that is a separate book. That is not the rule book. This is the rule book. So here's a quick look at all the different components in the game, and we'll go ahead and go over those now. So to set up the game, you're going to have all these different decks. You're going to separate out the scientists, and you're going to pick 4 scientists. Each scientist has 3 cards associated with them. So Niels Bohr here has 3 of his card. You're going to arrange them in ascending order. So you've got a 6, 7, and 8. That is the energy cost in order to buy these cards. So you're going to have 4 scientists, each with different abilities. You've got starter decks. Each player starts with 10 cards, I think it is. And that consists of up quark cards, down quark cards, and photon gamma ray cards. And we're going to be using this starter deck in order to buy these cards here to add to our starter deck. We're going to be using these and these to get these elements here and try and get more victory points. So that's the general gist of it. So each player starts with a deck of 10 of these starter cards: up quark, down quark, and photon gamma ray cards. Then you've got a large deck of single subatomic cards. 1 neutron or 1 electron. There's a wild. This card is either 1 proton or 1 neutron or 1 electron. It's not all 3. So whenever you draw this card in your deck, should you have it, you're going to pick one of them and then gain that particular subatomic particle. Then there's proton. So those are your basic ones. These are the easier ones to get. On the bottom of these cards is the cost of getting the card in the first place. So players are going to begin using these cards in your starter deck to acquire these simpler cards. And then from there, hopefully they'll be able to get these more complex or larger subatomic cards that consists of 1 proton and 1 neutron, or 2 protons, 2 energy. I believe this is an OR card, so you can only do one or the other there. You can tell the difference because there's a little white circle around the numbers. If there's a white circle around the numbers, or if they're like linked, that means it's an AND card. If it's just text like this without any sort of circle, then it's an OR card. I wish it was a little bit more clear on the front of the text, but such as it is, it's easy to miss if you're not reading the rule book. So you're going to have each deck separate each deck, shuffle them up, and then deal 4 out to form the market. There's an additional energy cost for acquiring these cards, so that's why they're in columns. This is 3 energy. That's 3 energy in addition to the cost of the card on the bottom here. 3 energy in addition to the cost of this card here, and so on. You've got a player board. This is just a tracker. You're going to be tracking the amount of protons, neutrons, and electrons that you're going to be earning as you play the cards from your hand. And there's 3 of these little glass, well, I think they're plastic, but they look like glass I don't know, tokens. And there's one for each. One for proton, one for neutron, one for electron. You're going to be sliding these around your board to track how many you have. And again, you're going to be spending these to acquire these, you're going to be spending these to acquire these. You're going to be spending these in order to acquire these. You cannot use these to acquire these. As far as your energy or your cubes here, let's go ahead and put these back. These are victory point markers, kind of, sort of. Whenever you acquire an element, and go ahead and show you one of these now. There's 4 elements in the game. There's lithium, there's boron, beryllium, and helium, I think. And you're going to be using your atom here, your subatomic particles, to buy these cards. There's also an additional energy cost. You're going to be spending the energy up here in order to acquire them in addition to the cost here. This mass number is victory points, but whenever you acquire one of these cards and you put it into your little score pile, you're going to take 2 of your cubes and put them on the end goals section over here. But you cannot, there's helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, and element set. This is lithium. Let's say I pick this up. I cannot place these on lithium. I have to put them on something else. And this is for majority bonus at the end of the game. The more cubes you have here, the greater your chances of getting majority bonus and scoring more points per card of that type. There's also these tokens. There's more in the box. You just draw 5 at random, 1 for each. And whenever you put cubes onto these locations, you can choose one. You can even do this if you want. You can put 2 on the same space, so as long as it's not the one that you took. But let's say I did something like this. I can choose either this one, draw 2 cards, or this one, annihilate for free. And I can gain, it's a one-time bonus that I can take on my turn if I so choose to. So you're going to be putting these cubes onto the board whenever you take elements, and the game will end whenever one player completely empties all of these cubes from their supply. I'm sure there may be some other things that I missed. Oh yeah, on your turn, you're going to perform 4 actions. You can do this as many times as you want, so as long as you've got the ability to do so, or the resources. I'm just going to draw 5 cards as a mock hand, so you can see sort of what I'm going to do with my turn. I can build up my atom as one of my first actions. So what I can do is I can trade in 1 up quark and 2 down quark. So I could do an up, and a down. So I can discard these into my discard pile in order to gain a proton, in which case I would put this on the 1 space. I can do a down quark, up quark, and gain a neutron. I can turn in 2 of these photon gamma rays, which I don't have. I can turn 2 of these in order to gain an electron. There's only 2 spaces for that on your. You can have a maximum of 2 electrons on your tracker. So basically, turning cards to get subatomic particles here on your tracker. The second thing you can do is claim an element card. You're going to reset your board. You're going to pay the cost to get one of these elements. But you have to, there's no change. So you have to put all 3 markers, wherever they are, back into, even if you have more than what you need, you have to put these back into their starting locations. That's the second thing you can do. The third thing you can do is buy deck building cards over here. You're going to be, again, spending these to acquire these. And then the fourth thing that you can do is take energy tokens. In addition to playing these cards to get subatomic particles, you can play these face down and not use their faces here to acquire energy tokens. That's what these are over here. Energy tokens, again, are ways you need energy to acquire these cards, and these scientists up here. So that's the fourth thing you can do. You can also spend energy to swipe any row, meaning you can discard all the cards and draw 4 new ones here, same with this here. You can spend 2 energies to draw a card from your deck, and hopefully you'll get something good out of that. And then you can spend a certain amount of energy to annihilate, meaning that you can discard 2 cards from your hand, or eliminate from the game 2 cards from your hand. Now the cost of annihilate will go up. There's a tracker here. It starts on this 3rd space in a 2-player game, and it goes to the right every time that it's used. And this is a 2-space, 3, 3, and a 4. So the more times that people annihilate throughout the game, the more energy it costs the more expensive it becomes to annihilate and get rid of cards. So in order to get rid of cards from your deck completely, to thin it out, you're going to be annihilating. So that's what annihilating is all about. And again, players will continue taking turns back and forth until one of their pools are empty, and then we'll tally up our points. There's two ways to score. One is just flat out victory points for the numbers on the bottom right of these elements that you're collecting. The second part is the set collecting part of it. So let's say I had 2 on boron and she had 1. I would gain 2 points because I have more cubes. 2 points for every boron card that I have, and she would gain 1 point for every boron card that she had. And we would score that. Same with beryllium and lithium and helium. Helium is 4 points per card and 2 points per card if you're in second place. The element set is the last space. For every, let's say you're leading in this, 2 points per unique card that you have. Again, there's 4 cards. There's lithium, boron, beryllium, and helium. For every unique card that you have, you get 2 points. If you're in first place, you get 1 point for every unique card you have if you're in second place. Okay? So that's the gist of it. I'm sure I may have skimmed over 1 or 2 things, but I think we're ready to go. First player marker, would you like to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, it's technically the person that last did science or something or other. So, yeah, sure, okay, fine. I guess I'll go first. Alright, so let me just... One thing I don't like is that there's no, like, guide cards, but there is on your board here a quick overview of what you can do. Alright, so I'm just going to move this and use this, and if I have a question, I'll use that. Okay, so I'm going to draw 5. At the beginning of the game, you're going to draw 5 cards. And then you're going to play them, again, as much as you want. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead and take, I'm going to play an up quark and 2 down quark, and that will grant me a neutron. So I'm going to put 1 on the neutron space. I'm going to discard them into that. I've got 2 cards left. Oh, by the way, unlike a typical deck builder, you can actually keep cards in your hand and then draw back up to your hand limit of 5 at the end of your turn. So if I want to keep these, I can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this face down for energy and just gain an energy token. And I'm going to keep this in my hand, and then I'm going to draw up to 4 cards for the last, or up to 5 rather, to end my turn. So now it is her turn.
I see.
Whenever you acquire a card from here, you do not refresh right away. There is a special refresh phase that would occur after the player's turn is over. Just FYI.
Okay.
And then cards will slide to the right as appropriate. And because we are now done explaining the game, I'm going to go ahead and actually zoom in a little bit so you guys can actually see what it is we're doing. So let's do something like that. Okay, I think that's sufficient. And then I'm going to move this over a little, like that. Okay. No, wrong direction. Towards you. Okay, yeah, I think we're good.
How many cards can you face down?
As many as you want.
As many as you want, okay. How many cards can you turn in? Like for proton, neutron, electron?
As many as you want.
Really?
You only have 5 cards though, and with 5 cards, you're gonna only be able to do that once.
Yeah. Alright, I'd like a neutron with my up quark and down quark.
Okay, yep, so go ahead and discard those, so you're gonna just add 1 to your thing.
So that's a neutron?
Yep, the blue one is the neutron, yep.
Can I do it again?
You don't have enough cards for it.
I have 2 photons.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, you would gain 1 electron, which is the yellow one. So you would do this.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yep, and then you're out of cards to use, so that's it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna draw 5 more and end your turn.
Okay.
Very simple. Now it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and gain an electron. So I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2. I'm going to gain 1 electron there. I've got this, and this. I'm going to go ahead and spend this 1 up quark and 2 down quarks to get a second neutron. Do I want that? Well, do I need to, first off? Well, here's the thing. I can also spend these, like this is down quark and this is up quark. So I could, in fact, I can do 1 up quark and 2 down quark to purchase this 1 neutron.
You'd have to spend 3 energy for it?
I'd have to spend 3 energy, which, correct. So I could, if I had the energy, spend these to get this card, but I need 2 more energy.
Can you discard first and then spend?
I could have. Yeah, you can. Yeah, in any order that you want. Let's take a look at this one. I need an up quark, a down quark, 2 energy, plus 1. That's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
This one's free. I would need 2 up quark and 1 down quark for that, which I don't have. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard these 3 to just take 3 energy tokens and set myself up for next turn. Alright, and I'm going to draw more cards. Now whenever you run out of cards, you're going to shuffle your discard pile. I'm going to take these 2, shuffle these up, and then draw 3 more. Any typical deck builders works that way.
I will... I see what you're doing.
Sure.
Okay. Interesting.
You have no idea what I'm doing.
I have every idea.
No, you have no idea what I'm doing.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay. I will do the same thing.
You're
sir.
gonna. Okay. What are you gonna do?
Discard all my cards for 5 energy.
Really? 5 energy. Okay. Go for it. And then you're gonna draw 5 more. You're gonna have 1, and then you're going to shuffle these up and get 4 more. I would put those like.
I don't know.
That's fine. All right. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna take a look at my hand and see what I can do. I'm actually going to discard 2 up quarks and a down quark to get this one for free. Any card that you buy is immediately put into your discard pile. I've got 2 cards remaining. I can keep this. Of course.
Do those slide down, or they just refresh?
Not yet. Whenever during the refresh phase, that's when they slide down.
Oh.
So right now, I would not do anything with this.
Also, I thought it was just a new card replaces.
No, these will slide down, and that way these become cheaper because there's a 3 energy cost here, 2, 1. They'll slide down to become cheaper. But I think what I'm going to do, I've got 4 energy. I will. All right, you know what, I'll go ahead and just. I'm going to spend this up quark for energy, and then I'm going to keep this card and then draw up to 5. And these will now slide down, and a new one takes its place.
Okay. This is nerve-wracking. I will spend these 3.
Okay, down, up. So you got a photon, up quark, down quark. Okay.
And 2 energy.
And 2 energy.
For this one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's free. So it's a wild, so you can use it for anything, which is nice.
Is this an and?
That's an or. It's 1 proton or. Do you want to take it back? You can. But you can use it.
Son of a...
Remember, if it doesn't have that circular ring around it, it's an or.
I was totally thinking the opposite. Crap. Nuggets.
You can take it back.
That's a wild.
But you can use it for anything.
Yeah, I could, but it's only a 1.
All right. Well, here's your discard pile.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think about what you want.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just...
All right. So that goes in your discard pile.
This is the discard pile?
Yep. Well, it's your hand. Whatever you want. It's however you want to do this. You're going to confuse. What I do is put your discard pile over here.
Over there?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I do. Look, I have my discard pile over here so it doesn't
Yeah, so it doesn't go
interfere.
with the market. Yeah.
Right. Now, do you want to do anything else with the 2 cards you have remaining, or do you just want to draw back up to 5?
I am going to... there's so much energy we need. Hold on, let me think.
Mm-hmm. She's thinking.
Very, very hard.
There are smoke signals now in the basement.
Yeah. See if I do so.
That's what I said.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to discard these.
Remaining 2.
Well, do I? Yeah. No. Wait. Yeah. I'll just discard this one.
Not your deck.
Dang it.
So over there. That's fine.
Sorry.
So you get 1 energy.
1 energy.
And now you've got 1 card left. You can either deal back up to 5. Okay, you're gonna do that. All right. So these will slide down, and a new one comes out. I will spend 2 gamma rays to acquire this electron.
Very good.
I've got these left in my hand. I will. Yeah, there's nothing really. Well, actually, what I could do. I'm actually going to spend. Oh, I can't. Yeah, man, these cannot be spent to gain these. This is only for this.
Only for that? Oh,
right.
wow.
You're going to use cards from your hand to acquire more cards.
I see.
So I'd have to, like, discard. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to play. Actually, I can't do any of that. Okay, I'm just going to take. I'm just going to take 3 energy. I'm going to discard the rest of my hand face down, and I'm going to take 3 energy. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, nice.
All right, and I've got 1, 2 left, so I'm going to shuffle my discard pile and draw 3 more cards to get up to 5. And it's your turn. Oh, these slide down.
Neutron.
Neutron.
I am going to spend an up. No, that's not it. Dang it. Red nuggets. Okay. Okay, I will do. I'm gonna spend 2 downs and 1 up.
Okay.
For this.
2 downs and 1 up for that. Okay, so that goes into your discard pile. You should have 2 cards left.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to do anything with those?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I guess I'll just discard these for energy too.
Okay.
Or do
Or do you?
I? I know, right? See, what's confusing me is the whole. Now that whole thing is confusing me. Cards to purchase that, but this to purchase that.
Right. These are only this only creates elements, nothing else.
That's.
So you're either going to use your hand to collect to build up your deck, or you're going to use your hand to build up your tracker, your atom, to get elements.
Oh, that's gonna take a while to get used to. All right, I'm just gonna. Can I look through my discard or no?
No.
Oh, dang. Okay. Pathfinder didn't let you not look through your discard.
No Pathfinder. We're not playing Pathfinder.
I know. Okay, fine.
I don't care. It's a casual.
Is it actually against the rules?
I don't know. I didn't look that
okay.
hard.
All right.
If you want to, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Discard both of these.
To get 2 energy?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. Yes.
Okay. These slide down. You get 5 cards.
Shuffle these.
I will spend 2 downs and an up to get a neutron, but I have to spend 2 energy to do that.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and put these back. And I've got 2 cards left. That isn't very helpful to me right now.
So the 2 downs and an up, you didn't apply here. You applied
No,
over
correct. I used them to purchase these
Okay.
cards. Your up quarks and down quarks can be used to gain these, or to gain these. I know you're going to be using these cards for either one or the other.
Yeah, it's a lot to wrap my head
I
around.
understand. It's our first game. I should mention that. It's our first time playing. I'm just going to, I'm going to play this. I forgot how much I was. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to play this face down for a token. And then this one I'm going to keep and just draw back up to. Okay. Your turn.
So here's a question. If you got one of these cards, they can also be used to purchase cards or...
Yes.
this.
So let's say you played a proton card. If you had a proton in your hand, you can gain 1 proton here. Instead of spending 2 up quarks and a down quark to get a proton, you can just spend 1 proton card to get a proton, or use that proton to buy, say, this card, which needs 1 neutron, 1 proton, 2 energy.
Okay. Alright, my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Then I take any subatomic from the draw pile and shuffle it, or the discard pile.
Yeah, so you can either take from there or from your draw pile.
Interesting. I'll take from here.
Okay.
And use this one.
Okay.
Again. So 2 protons and 3, 4 of that.
Okay.
So
Moving right along.
I will. Dang it. So that's used. Okay. I will do. Oh, okay. I will do an up, down, down for.
It would be one of these.
Can I
Or
use it
one.
for
Yeah,
that?
yeah, you can.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Now, here's a question. Alright, I did that. Let's say, just for the heck of it, I used this, and I have no more protons here. Does that make this card unplayable, or does it just make it a waste?
No, you can play it for 2 energy.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if I used it for protons. Like, okay.
You can use it for protons here.
Well, because I want to use this, right?
For what?
And for this.
Yeah.
It gives me a neutron and a proton.
Yeah, you would waste the proton.
I would waste the proton?
Yes,
Okay.
because you can't go up any higher than 5 on your track.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Okay.
And then I will use the photon, these 2, for an electron.
Okay.
And I'll put that there.
Okay.
And this all goes. And then I will use this for energy.
Okay.
So
Go for
1,
it.
2 energy.
Yep.
And now I will purchase this one.
Okay, go for it. So you're going to buy boron. So you take back everything. You've got at least 5 protons, 6 neutrons, and 2 electrons. So everything goes back. You take this card.
Thank you.
And now you take 2 of your tokens and put them on anything but boron.
Anything but boron. That's right. I'll do
And while you're thinking, I'm going to slide. Actually, I'm going to wait because
beryllium
beryllium.
and
Just do that.
and helium.
All right. So which token do you want? Out of helium or beryllium? Which one?
Beryllium.
Draw 3 cards.
Now it is your turn.
All right. I'm going to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. All right. I need to get the ball rolling here. The problem is my lack of protons. So I need to. I'm going to spend as much as I don't want to. I'm going to spend this proton, neutron, and proton card to use that as 2 protons to get this. And you also need to spend 2 energy, which I have here. So I'm going to take that. The rest of this up quark, I'm going to get for energy. This, I'm going to do 4 neutrons out of these 4 cards.
Wow, nice.
So I'm just going to play 4 neutrons. I'm going to go up to 5. And this last electron, I'm going to play that for an energy. And these slide. And we're back. So, because the game was fairly repetitive and we made a couple of mistakes along the way, we decided to just show you the first couple of turns and then show you what the game looks like now that we're finished with it. She destroyed me, first off. I only managed to get 2 cards from here, and she got 5. So I have 20 points plus whatever majorities I got, which is none. I'll get second place on some of these, but she clearly won the game. I'm not going to bother adding this up. But yeah, this is what the game looks like at the end of it all, and she was the winner on this. So stay tuned. We're going to tell you what we think here in a minute. And there you have it, Subatomic. What did you think?
It was nice. It was fun.
But
not knowing the specifics of the rules was really kind of frustrating a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I wish so bad that we could actually play it more appropriately, because I don't think I would have had that much of a runaway lead if that were the case.
There was, you guys aren't going to see it because I'm going to cut it out because of the time. But there is a card in here that you get 2 protons and 2 neutrons, but you have to pay 2 energy every time you use it. And she was using it without paying the cost multiple times. But I'm not going to hold that against her. She still won, as far as I'm concerned, she won fair and square. And this is our first game too, and our first games generally don't go as smoothly as our second and third games go. But this gives us, I think, a good idea as to what the game is like and whether or not we like it or not. And you liked it?
Yeah, it was okay. I liked it. I would not play this again until someone like an expert or the developer, like until they specified whether we could reuse scientists, whether we can reuse certain things. I don't know. It's just, it needs to be fine-tuned a little bit. Like,
I think the scientists were quite overpowered.
Yes.
You had 3 and I had 1, and you were drawing like 8 or 9 cards every turn, and I was only drawing an extra 2. So it's like, I felt like I was behind. And part of it was my fault, though, I will admit, because I was keeping cards in my hand from turn to turn, thinking I'm going to hold on to these and pair these up so I can buy the better cards. But then I realized, well, these are cards that I'm wasting every turn and not using them to get subatomic particles on my tracker. So I fell behind that way. So part of it was my fault. It was poor strategy, poor thinking on my part. And then the other part was there was some rule barriers that weren't clear, and I think the rulebook just missed the mark on that. There's a number of, what ifs, or, what happens with this scientist? Can we reuse them? Do we have to pay every time to use them? Is it a free thing every turn? The rulebook doesn't mention any of that, and it's a shame because everything else about the game is pretty good. I liked it. I liked the deck building. I liked the science. I liked the separate book that has some extra science knowledge stuff in it, educational stuff. That's something I really love about companies like this. They go the extra mile to show stuff like that, and I think that's great. It's brilliant. I think the quality of the components are good. The tokens were fine. I would have liked, I don't know, maybe metal tokens or something, but I guess these plastic ones are just fine. I mean, they're decent quality.
Yeah.
I like the fact that there's multiple one-use tokens, so you're not going to have the same experience every time. I like that you have different scientists, so you're not going to have the same 4 every time. I like the idea of the end game, the end goal, majority stuff, but the rulebook makes the math more complicated than it needs to be. It'll say add up your boron card mass numbers and then add the majority bonus for that on the... No, it's easier. For me, the math is easier if you just add the numbers up, the mass numbers first. Just take all your cards, add up the numbers, boom, 1 subtotal. Then take 1 majority at a time and give the players the points and be done. The rulebook combined both at the same time, and it actually confused me. An accountant, it confused me. So I'm like, just treat them separately, and I think it'll be easier to grasp. 1 for the mass number, boom, easy add. The majority bonuses, that's a separate thing. Get a subtotal for that, add it to the other subtotal. Done, you're done. I liked this game. I really do. I think had we known the rules a bit better And had I played better with a different strategy or not held on to so many cards from turn to turn, I would have definitely enjoyed my session more.
Yeah.
But just because I didn't enjoy it a lot this turn, I mean, I know the game well enough now to know I'm going to like it. I do like it. I didn't like, I'm mad at myself for the way I played, and I'm mad at myself for not being able to get the answers I need for certain rules. But other than that, like, I do like it. I would come back to this again. I think it is a good game, and it's well put together. Aside from the rulebook, the quality components are there. The assigned rulebook for the educational purposes, that's there too.
I would have taken the scientists out. Like,
really?
I'm not too big on the scientists portion.
Meanwhile, you bought 3 of them.
I know, I didn't like it. It really did feel way too overpowered. I felt like I kept stepping on the little guy, and a lot of that was because I spent that overpowered card like 3 or 4 times when I didn't even have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna hold that against her. It's our first time playing.
Mm-hmm.
Our first or second play sessions are usually we're gonna try the game out, see if we like it. If we get stuff wrong, oh well, we're gonna get stuff wrong. We're only human. We're not that competitive to where we have to flip the table and start over when we miss a rule.
yeah.
I don't care. We got an idea of how the game is played, and I like it. I know it enough now to know that I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And next time, I think I'll like it even more because I'll know how to play it better.
Yes.
So yeah, I would recommend this one.
It was hard getting energy, like on my part.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Well, you spent how much energy on scientists? You bought 3 scientists, and that was at least 20 energy, roughly.
Yeah, it was still really.
Grand sum.
I don't know. It was just hard getting energy, like, to purchase. Like, I don't know.
Well, you started. You know, the idea here is use your up quarks and down quarks to get your protons and neutrons, and then use your up quarks and down quarks, discard those for energy, use your protons and neutrons to buy either more cards or to start working on your atom and go from there. I waited too long. There was a runaway leader effect here. Once she had 3 cards before I had 1. And that was a runaway. I could not catch her at that point. This is, and like any deck builder, if one person waits too long to start getting victory point cards, it's over. Usually that one person that started getting them is able to just keep chaining until the game is over, and then the other player doesn't have enough to catch up. And that's what happened here. There wasn't enough. There's nothing in the game that I could see that would allow me to catch up in that instance, aside from maybe the scientist abilities, but I didn't use them all that much. But yeah, I would play this again. Subatomic, an atom building game. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince and Idly. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.
Hi, guys.